Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
All right, so forgot to record this. Sorry, online students. Make sure you check your solutions on 1 through 14. This is 15. So we had to simplify this first. And then, simplify and solve. This is just a lot more to simplify. So now we've got -4 equals 3x. How do you solve for x? Divide by 3. Even though it doesn't go into -4, your answer is -4/3. Is that what you guys got? Anybody? There's a lot of detours in this problem. So there's a lot of ways you can mess this up, unfortunately. So do your best, show your work, and I'll give you the credit you deserve. All right, number 16. Simplify, factor if necessary. So we're going to factor first. What is that, an L? Why would you choose L as a variable? That's a bad idea, Saxon. Okay, so factor. Well, the only thing you can factor is this top here. So the first step to factoring is look for a greatest common factor. What goes into both 3 blah blah and 12 blah blah? Well, 3 does. What about your variables? L squared, m to the, what goes into both? 4th. And then n, just an n. So when you take that out, you're left with this. Let's see, just 1, right? Because that's that whole thing. Minus 4 mn. All over 3 L squared m to the 4th n. Now you can cancel this. So your answer is just that. That worked out nice, okay? The other way you could do this is you're just dividing these two terms by this. What's this divided by this? That's 1, right? And then this divided by this, well, 12 divided by 3 is 4. L squareds cancel, m to the 5th over m to the 4th. Remember, you subtract those exponents, so m. N squared divided by n, subtract those exponents, n. So it's 1 minus 4mn. So there's 2 ways to do that. Do the one that makes more sense to you. All right, number 17. Expand. We're just going to distribute this. I'm going to write it up here. So you're just going to draw your lines. First of all, that y to the 0 is just 1. So I'm going to ignore that. Let's not make it more confusing. Let's cancel it right away so we don't have to worry about it in our problem. And then I'm going to cancel that a to the 0. That's just 1 there as well. So z squared all over x to the -2 a squared. Okay, so we're just going to distribute. Just squish it all together. So we have x squared, z to the -4, a to the -2 all over. Multiply the bottoms, a to the -2z. All I did was squish it all together. I ignored the y to the 0 because that's just 1. Squish all this together and you get x squared z squared all over a to the -2, x to the -2, a squared. Okay, now this is where some of you get lost. If you get this far, half credit, awesome. Now we have to simplify this. The tops and bottoms have variables that can cancel. I think it's confusing like this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them upstairs. So this is a squared z to the negative 1, and then bring that upstairs. So a squared x squared a to the negative 2. Okay, and then since you have variables with exponents, what do you do with the exponents? You just add them, right? When you multiply exponential expressions, you just add the exponents. So let's see, x squared, there's no other x squared, so x squared, and then z to the 1 plus negative 4 is negative 3, plus another negative 1 is negative 4, and then a to the negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So that cancels. Okay? And then what about this? Let's see. Minus x to the 4th, because you got an x squared makes an x to the 4th. Z to the, let's see, 1 plus 2 is 3. And then a is 2 and negative 2 is 0, so that cancels. So this is what you're left with, x squared z to the negative 4th minus x to the 4th z to the 3rd. How does it want us to write it? All positive exponents. So what do we have to do now? Yeah, just look at the negative exponents and deal with those. There's nothing in the second one. So this just needs to go downstairs. So you're just left with x squared over z to the 4th minus x to the 4th z to the 3rd. That's it. All positive exponents. That's a tough one, okay? Lots of stuff to remember in that. So make sure you review this again before you take your test. That'd be a good idea. All right, can we do it? We've got 3 problems left, and they look like big ones, kind of. Okay, so 18, we're going to evaluate. Okay, so all we're going to do is plug in our values. X equals, what's the cube root of 27? 3. Y equals 64, right? So you just have to figure out there. They don't just give it to you. You have to figure out what X and Y are first. So let's plug it in. So this is 1 over negative 3 to the negative 4th plus absolute value of negative 3 squared times negative 3 squared minus cubed root of 64. Okay, let's do parentheses first. Let's deal with this. We could also deal with this. This is a negative 4 on the bottom, so it becomes a positive 4 exponent on the top. So this is 3 to the 4th all over a negative sign. Because remember that negative 4 only applies to the 3, okay? So that negative, if you're just left with a negative sign on the bottom, you need a negative 1. You look confused, Audrey.
I am slightly.
So see how the negative 4 is only next to the x. So that negative sign in front of it is just to confuse you. So that isn't being applied by the exponent, so you can't deal with that negative sign. So we'll deal with that in a second. Plus, what's the absolute value of negative 3 squared? Just 9, right? And then what's negative 3 squared? Not negative 3 squared. What's negative 3 squared? Negative 9. Right, so that 2 is only squaring the 3, not the negative sign. Otherwise, there'd be a parenthesis around the x in the negative sign, not, okay? So minus, what's the cube root of 64? 4. So let's do that and simplify that. This is 81 divided by negative 1 is negative 81 plus another negative 81 minus 4. So that's negative 162 minus 4, negative 166. What? That was an ordeal. All right. 2 more. In 2 minutes. I'm going to just do this real quick, guys. This is 19. So negative 16 times negative, well, you have to deal with that negative 4. Oh my gosh, this is a pain in the butt. So this is negative 16 over negative 4 squared minus 9 over negative 3 squared. So you have to put those, you can't put them on the bottom of the whole thing, just that, because they're being subtracted. So then you got 9 minus, let's do that real quick. Positive 2 times positive 7 is 14, so 9 minus 14. So this is going to be negative 1, because negative 16 divided by positive 16 is negative 1, minus 1 all over negative, what is that? Negative 5. So you get negative 2 over negative 5, which is just positive 2 over positive 5, 2/5. All right, last one, 20. Find the surface area. Surface area is the front plus the back. So the front and the back are the same, so I'm going to multiply this by 2. And then you got the left and right, which look like the same thing as well, 10 by 20s. Okay, what is that? A 16 by 6. Okay, and then you got the bottom, which is 20 by 16. So that all equals, let's see, 16 times 6 is 96 divided by 2, but times 2 is just 96. Plus 2 of these, that's 2 200s, which is 400. 2 of those, which is 320, so 640. Oh, no, just one of those. So that's 320. Add them together, 720 plus 96 is 816 square centimeters. Don't find the volume of that, find the surface area. That was a lot. Kind of rushed at the end, but watch the video again just to make sure you know it, okay?